All right. So when you start talking about things like, um, little containers of fish or seashells or cigarettes being considered money, you have to kind of ask the question, well, what is money? Like, what does it take to be considered money? All right. Um, so, in order for something to be considered money, there's basically four tests that economists kind of put it through to say, okay, this is something that I consider money versus something that isn't. So, the first thing it has to be is a unit of account. Now, basically, what this means is we're able to use it to see how much something is worth. So, for example, if um, if I see this pair of headphones, this water bottle, a new car, I know how much they're worth, at least approximately, in dollars. So I can use it to measure how much something is worth. Now, in order for something to be considered a unit of account, it needs to be stable, divisible, and have a well-known value. So it needs to be stable because if its value is constantly changing, then I can't use it to know how much something is worth because it literally changes every day. It also needs to be divisible because you need to be able to measure the value of something large and something small. That's why something like grain was really good as money, because you could have a whole bunch of grain, but also you could even have just a few flecks of grain. It divides really, really well. So if you have something like, I don't know, say a car, you can't really say that something's worth a quarter of a car. I mean, you can, but you can't pay someone very easily in a quarter of a car. Okay? A well-known value. So what if I tried to pay you in, say, baseball cards? Okay? Now, this could be a, pretty valuable baseball card. Okay? But if you don't know what it's worth, then you're not going to want to trade me in that. So it has to be something where everyone is pretty familiar with how much it's worth. Okay, so it has to be a unit of account. It also needs to be a medium of exchange. That means that people have to be willing to accept it as payment, because it can't be money if you can't buy anything with it. Like, I feel like that's pretty straightforward. So in order for it to be a medium of exchange, again, generally it has to be fairly stable. It has to be portable. So again, something like a car or something like, I don't know, like milk. Okay, lots of people like milk, but you'd have to carry it around in like a cooler or something. Um, it's something that you have to be able to carry with you. If you have a cow, okay, you're not going to want to carry that cow with you on your back or like tug it along with you. These things make for a bad medium of exchange. It has to be portable. It also has to be something that's valuable to the majority of people. It can't be something where only a few people want it, because then we have that coincidence of wants problem that we talked about earlier, where I'm trying to find someone who wants what I have. That problem shouldn't exist if that thing is considered to be money. Now, note, it doesn't have to be valuable to everybody. Like, for example, cigarettes in prison. Okay, not everyone is interested in these cigarettes, but enough people are interested in these cigarettes that it can be considered a medium of exchange. It also needs to be a store of value. One of the really important functions of money is it preserves present wealth for the future. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. Let's say you're a farmer, okay? Well, you are rich at exactly one time of the year, harvest time, okay? So you have all of this harvest, okay? So you go from being poor to having like not much to having all of this harvest. Okay, but that harvest, if you just leave it out and you don't store it or turn it into something else, that value is going to disappear. Okay, that wealth is going to disappear. So you want something that is going to preserve that wealth from now into the future. So what do? You trade your present wealth for something that is a store of value. Okay, now that could be money. That could be some other crop that stays preserved for longer. So it has to be something that stores its value. Okay. This one I always feel like is kind of covered by the other ones. Economists say it has to be a standard of deferred payment, which means it has to be a way of paying debts. Okay. Which I feel like if it's these other three, it kind of fits the bill for that. But that's the fourth one that economists like to bring up. Now, let me give you an example of why we have this discussion of what is money. Right now, one of the really big new up and coming things is cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, all these different cryptocurrencies. And I'm not going to get too in depth about how those work right now, but I want to ask the question, okay, are these money? Are they a unit of account? Are they a medium of exchange? Are they a store of value? I would say that cryptocurrencies are very close to becoming money, but they have one fatal flaw right now. They are not stable. Okay? People are treating them less as currency and more like an investment. So you'll have some people buying and selling in Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, but mostly you have people buying it for an investment. And because of that, people are buying and selling it so much that the value fluctuates a lot. So it can't really count as a store of value. It can't really count as a medium of exchange or a unit of account because the value isn't currently stable. Now, if in the future the value of these currencies levels off and you see a lot less fluctuation, then all of a sudden these things really do become money, okay? As long as people are willing to accept them as payment, which that has been the trend, that more people are accepting it as payment. So these are the four things that need to be true for money to be considered money.